Have you ever seen your dog go from, 0 to 100 in a split second, tearing around the house for what seems like no reason at all? Well, today we're going to decode one of their absolute funniest behaviors in our explainer, Dog Zoomies Explained.
Oh, I'm sure you have. 1 minute, they're just snoozing peacefully on the rug, and the next, they are a furry cannonball ricocheting off the couch. It's this moment of pure, chaotic joy to watch. But you have to wonder, what is actually going on in their little heads?
Well, you have definitely come to the right place. Here at Pets Fun Zone, we are all about answering those quirky questions we have about our four-legged family members.
So first things first, what are zoomies? It turns out this sudden burst of energy, while it might look like your dog has completely lost its mind, is a totally normal and actually often a very healthy part of just being a dog.
And yep, this delightful chaos actually has a fancy scientific name. Vets and animal behaviorists call them FRAPs. That stands for frenetic random activity periods. I mean, frenetic and random are the perfect words, right? It's just a sudden release of energy that has to go somewhere. So next time your pup is tearing up the yard, you can casually tell your friends, "Oh, don't mind him, he's just having a frap." Sounds so much more official, doesn't it?
And the signs of a classic FRAP are just unmistakable. It usually starts with that hilarious butt tuck, doesn't it? It's like they're engaging turbo mode, lowering their body before launching into these wild circles or frantic zigzags. They might even stop their own sprint to throw in a quick play bow or a happy little bark, as if to say, "Hey, isn't this fun?" It's just this intense, hilarious explosion of energy that, thankfully for our lamps vases, is usually over in just a few minutes.
Okay, so we know what they are. They've even got an official name. But that brings us to the biggest question of all. Why? Why do they happen? What's actually triggering all of this frantic, joyful energy?
Well, it really just boils down to a release of strong emotions and built-up energy. So think about it in two big categories. First, there's that physical energy. If your dog has been cooped up all day, a zoomie is kind of like a pressure cooker letting off steam. But more often, it's an emotional release. This is your dog speaking its own language. The classic post-bath zoomie? That's a mix of relief that it's over, shaking off the stress of the tub, and just the sheer joy of feeling clean and free. Sometimes it's just pure, unfiltered happiness. They just feel that good. But on the flip side, it can be a way to get rid of nervous energy after something tense, like a trip to the vet. And of course, for puppies, this is pretty much their default setting. Their little bodies are just overflowing with energy, and they're still figuring out how to manage it all. All right, so knowing why it happens can help us predict when. Let's take a look at the most common times you can probably expect a full-blown frap attack.
I bet this schedule looks pretty familiar to most of you dog owners out there. You've got that classic evening zoomie, right when you get home from work and they've been waiting all day to finally let loose. A little energy spike after a meal can also get them going. We already talked about the post-bath chaos, but playdates are another huge one. It's just pure excitement overload from being around their buddies. And for puppies, that last wild burst of energy right before bed is practically a ritual. It's like their way of making sure every last drop of daytime energy is used up before they finally crash for the night. Now, for the vast, vast majority of dogs, zoomies are just a harmless, really funny quirk. But it's totally fair to wonder, could it ever be a sign of something more? Let's break down how to tell the difference between normal fun and a potential problem.
It is all about context, frequency, and what happens afterward. A healthy, normal zoomie is a joyful release. It's situational. It happens after a bath or when you get home. And most importantly, your dog can calm down afterward. They get it out of their system and then they can relax. Now, the time to be concerned is when the behavior becomes constant, almost obsessive, happening without any clear trigger. If your dog seems like they physically can't settle down, or if their frantic energy is leading to them repeatedly hurting themselves or causing a lot of destruction, that might be a sign of a deeper anxiety issue. And if that's the case, it's always worth having a chat with your vet. So, since we know zoomies are a natural and healthy part of dog life, our job isn't to stop them, it's to manage the mania and make sure they happen safely. So here are a few really practical tips. And that's really our whole philosophy here at Pets Fun Zone. We believe that understanding these little quirks is the key to having a happy and safe home for everybody involved. So let's start with prevention. A tired dog is a happy dog, right? So making sure they get enough daily exercise and mental stimulation, like with puzzle toys, can really reduce the intensity of those fraps. A tired brain is just as important as a tired body. Now, when a zoomie does strike, think of yourself as the safety director.
Clear a path indoors, maybe move that glass coffee table or roll up a slippery rug. A fenced-in yard is, of course, the perfect Zoomie arena. And here's the most important tip. Whatever you do, don't chase them. To your dog, that's just you joining the game, which only adds more fuel to the fire. Instead, just stay calm. You can either let them run it out or try to redirect their energy by excitedly grabbing a favorite toy. And afterwards, help them transition back to a calm state with a drink of water or a nice chew toy to signal that the party's over.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? Well, at the end of the day, just remember, Zoomies are a normal, healthy, and yes, an absolutely hilarious part of life with a dog. This really sums it up perfectly. It's not a glitch in their programming, it's a feature. It's your pup's way of burning off energy, celebrating pure joy, and just being their wonderful, goofy selves.
If you enjoyed figuring this out with us today, we would absolutely love for you to join the Pets Fun Zone community for more fun facts and tips just like this one.
Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss our next explainer. And definitely check out the links down in the description for our blog and some fun pet lover gifts. Thanks for tuning in. Now you'll know what to look for the next time your dog decides it's time to zoom.